I have no idea why it took me this long to try out BlazBlue Entropy Effect. I saw the blog post about the collaboration they had with Dead Cells, adding the prisoner to the game. That definitely piqued my interest, and it's pretty funny because the last time I talked about Dead Cells was about their crossover update. So this is like crisscross applesauce. BlazBlue Entropy Effect is a 2D action roguelike spin-off of the fighting game series BlazBlue. Now, I actually did hear about this game when it came out. A couple friends were playing it, but when it comes to 2D like side-scroller roguelikes, there's a lot of them and a lot of demos I tried for them, and I usually just end up wanting to play Dead Cells. But this game is actually really freaking good. I would say it's actually kind of similar to Dead Cells combat, but since this game has fighting game roots, it's definitely a lot flashier and features a lot of different playstyles I'm assuming are translated from the original game. You got parry heavy sword guys, a girl with a bunch of guns, cat girl. I don't have all the characters, but so far every character I've played has been pretty unique, and the way the gameplay is set up, it actually just feels like you start off with a basic fighting game string and then you just slowly add on to that. And as you progress through your run, you find different ways to string together combos or certain air moves and dashes alongside picking up classic roguelike buffs with like certain elements or summoning little guys to help you, which I really like because it fills in the gaps on my damage because I'm not a fighting game guy. I've tried to play newer fighting games that, while I really think they're cool, I kind of just fucking suck at them. So the fact that something like BlazBlue is translated into a roguelike, I think that's really dope. Maybe more fighting games can do that because it's honestly a really solid foundation for a roguelike. And I haven't even talked about the Dead Cells collab yet, so they actually added a whole ass like Dead Cells world to unlock the prisoner, and the way they translated prisoner's moveset into this game is actually really sick. So Dead Cells, you pick up a bunch of weapons and equipment, and you're swapping between two, and you're kind of just using a whole like smorgasbord of kooky items, the frying pan nunchucks or crossbow turrets or grenades. And the way it works in BlazBlue Entropy Effect is your fighting game strings are tied to 3 different backpacks you can hold, and it's all like interlocked, and it's pretty sick. At the start I was kind of confused because when you pick up an upgrade, you see this giant, especially for the prisoner, you see this gigantic gray paragraph, and obviously that's a little bit overwhelming. The small highlighted part is like the actual thing you're getting. And with the prisoner, kind of intuitive in the way you can switch between your different equipment sets, and there's like so many options you can get that you kind of end up with different stuff every time. With the prisoner and all the other characters, it's really cool to find out how to like juggle enemies or get cool combos off, whether that's for mobbing or the different bosses you can fight. During the boss fights, you can kind of like stun or stagger the main boss and kind of just hit a dope ass string on them. It makes me feel like I'm actually good at a fighting game, but mostly I'm probably just like spamming whatever moves I have unlocked, but it still feels good as fuck. There's also this meadow system that kind of reminded me of Uma Musume. I know. When it came out, it was really addicting, and it's kind of like a roguelike, and you train horses and use those horses to train your future horses. And there's a similar effect in this game where when you finish a run with the character, you can choose which passives you want to carry on into your future runs. And then when you start a run, you choose from 2 of these characters, and you actually get those passives you selected and 2 other innate ones from the character itself. It's a cool way of having some kind of like run history, like high score kind of thing, and also just kind of focus on the build you want to make. Choosing a synergistic combo is actually pretty fun and makes runs really strong. There is a pretty deep storyline because you're in this overworld as like this little bot guy, and you're doing simulations and training, and there's all the other bots and stuff, but it's not really my thing, so I kind of just glossed over that. And there's also character DLCs, which I'm probably going to pick up because they're on sale in a bundle right now. Just progressing through, the different unlocks and meta progression. I think this is a really solid game if you like Dead Cells. I would say, even though it's fast paced. Dead Cells is a little more methodical than this game. Certain characters definitely feel like I'm just trying to get out as many moves as possible. Just like spam the fuck out of the screen. I think once I get to a higher difficulty, there will be more space for skill expression. I think that's mostly in the boss fights, since you can get easily punished for missing a dodge or getting hit out of your combos. Overall, yeah, the game is fun as fuck. The skill progression during a run can be compared to something like Hades with their boon system. You choose these elements and then you attach that certain element to like your dash, or your attack, or your skill. You can get things that buff 2 of your things, like duo boons, and for me the difficulty is kind of hard to rate because I think I've only lost a couple runs. I'm increasing the difficulty each time, but I think they're fairly interesting. I think the most interesting part is like the synergies that you get at the end of the element tree, but it's mostly just like damage or maybe some crowd control for your enemies. I think it's a fine system, but the more interesting system is through the actual movesets of the character and the potentials you get, which gives you access to different moves or different strings. But yeah, BlazBlue Entropy Effect, went on sale, kind of a sleeper hit for me, and pick it up if you like Dead Cells. Dead Cells collab is really cool. Bye bye.